Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Anita Ruckledge, and I'm proud to say I'm the dementia lead nurse at Yorkshire Hospital. That's a hospital, 3 hospitals, Pontefract, Pinderfields and Dewsbury, spread over 19 miles. And I've got the best job in the whole hospital because I'm privileged and honoured to work with people that are living with dementia. And I now want to share a good news story. The things that Sheila said are all true, absolutely all true. But I hope that I can now let you all know that we have moved on from this. I want to tell you about an initiative that we've implemented, which are our fabulous family support rooms. Just imagine if you're in hospital and you're not living with dementia and you've not got a delirium, but you're still scared. It's still quite a scary place. Now times it by 1,000. Imagine if you've got cognitive impairment. How scary might that be? And that really was what made us, a group of like-minded people, implement something and take a journey to improve the care for people that are at the terminal stage of their life, advanced dementia, or someone who's basically confused, disorientated and needs support. And this journey is the implementation of 7 family support rooms at Yorkshire Hospital. It started with an idea. It turned into a seed. And then this blossomed. This is our journey. So what was the problem, you might ask? As a dementia lead nurse, I do patient visitor ward rounds every day. So every afternoon I go round and speak to people that are living with dementia, and I want to meet and greet their families. One particular day, about 18 months ago, I was doing a ward round on Ward 43. And there were 3 side rooms. And when I opened these doors, knocked and opened these doors, there were mattresses on the floor where families were staying through their choice. We do have a family room on every corridor in our new hospital, but this family room is away from their loved ones, and family wanted to be next to their loved ones at times of need. What did I see? The families chose to be here, but they weren't happy. I could see they weren't happy. They were in a cluttered room with a mattress on the floor. Yes, they were with their loved ones who were advanced dementia, agitated, confused, and terminally ill. But it wasn't right. What could I hear? I could hear it wasn't right because they were telling me so. What could I feel? I could feel the ambience in the room. It was absolutely dreadful. And what could I measure? I could certainly measure carer dissatisfaction. 5 minutes later, I said, does anybody want a hand? And I was sent to another ward to borrow some drugs. When I got to this ward, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was called an overflow ward, where people go when they're ready to be discharged. And on that ward were 14 wardrobes that pulled down into beds, not being in use. It was previously a children's ward. I thought, if only we had one of those wardrobes pulling down into a bed into one of these rooms, that's where these families could have stayed. That night when I went home, I couldn't settle. Now, our chief exec at that time used to say to us, if there's a problem, I wish you'd come and tell us with a solution, rather than first going to the CQCs. Why don't people come and talk to us? The next morning at 7:45, I knocked on his door. He said, hello, Anita. He says, I've got a meeting at 8 o'clock. I said, it's 7:45, sir. I only want 5 minutes of your time. I says, we've got a problem. What is it? I described what I'd seen with these poor families on the floor on these mattresses. Well, what's the solution? I says, the solution is we need to turn 7 side rooms into family support rooms so families can stay with their loved ones at times of need. He says, what would that look like, Anita? I said, I haven't got a clue, but I'll find out. So then we formed a steering group and we travelled the country to see if anyone had rooms like this. We saw them on paediatric wards, but we couldn't see them anywhere. We went to hospices. I even took the hospital chairman with me, Jules Preston, who's been our biggest supporter, and he came around the country with us. Anyway, in the end, we designed our own rooms, and we knew that our rooms had to afford dignity, compassion, and respect for people at the end of life, somewhere where their families can hold their hands, be with their loved ones. It's a very, very special time, and it's something that will be lasting, that person will remember. You've got to get a good death right. So we researched it, as I said, and then we listened to the experts, and I'm no expert. I might be the dementia lead nurse, but the experts are the people living with dementia and their carers. We wanted them to tell us, well, what do you want? What would it need? What would make your experience better? And then we designed our own room. This is a 3D model of the room, and at the end of the presentation I'm going to put you a little 4-minute film on which will actually show you the room. And basically, each room is a themed room. So we've got the butterfly room, we've got the daffodil suite, and each room's got wallpaper with a theme across it. It's got a wooden floor, so it's like a home from home feel. It's got wardrobe that pulls down into a bed, so Mrs. Jones's daughter can lay there and hold her hand. And it's also got a recliner chair. It's got a comfort pack, so that if someone's staying and they didn't know they were going to stay, they've got toiletries, they've got tea and coffee. It's got a big calendar clock on the wall, so the person living with dementia knows what date it is, what time it is, what year it is, what month it is. It's orientated them to time and place. It's got lovely pictures on the wall that can evoke memories. That's another picture of the Willow Suite. There's a picture of the room. You see the big television? Anybody who knows Pinderfields Hospital, they've got televisions this size. And they don't work. And people living with dementia have often got visual impairment, so they can't see them anyway. So we've got big televisions that can have a CD player and a DVD player in. And a gentleman that died recently watched his favourite opera singer up to minutes before he died in the room with people that loved him and the people that he loved. And the family remember that. Now I had a problem. What if these 7 rooms aren't filled with people that need them? What if, Julia, you went in one of these rooms and thought, oh, this is very nice, thank you very much, I'm staying in here. What can I do about that? So I designed a poster, and in the nicest possible way it said, if you're in here by default, then you may be asked to leave if Mrs. Jones needs it. And because we've done that and we tell people that straight away, then we never ever have any problems saying that. They're very rarely not in use. Are they fit for purpose? Remember, the aim was to afford dignity, compassion and care. But what if it didn't? I needed to be able to measure this. I go to the quality committee every 12 weeks and I take feedback from this survey form that we designed. And it basically says, what do you think about this room? What could we do differently? And do you know what? We've only had one negative feedback, and it was, this man was nearly 7 foot, by the way. Oh, the bed's a bit small inside the wardrobe. Well, hello, if that's all he had to complain about. So everything else has been extremely positive. And we have our carer passport. We had our carer passport before we implemented the rooms. And our carer passports do exactly what the previous people have said. It allows people to feel valued. If you want to help wash mum, you can, but we don't expect you to. We're not saying you do that to save a nurse's time, but you have got a choice. If you want to help mum with her eating and drinking, you can. If you want 30% discount in the canteen, take this passport, you can. And we believe that our rooms underpin all the principles of John's campaign. So we contacted Nikki and Julia kindly came and officially opened our room. So, you know, that's how much we feel that our rooms reflect the principles that your campaign bring. If you can see there, the lady in white is my Bantu healthcare assistant. She can get where water can't get. She's just about on every presentation I do. So what about John's campaign? Well, I'm really proud to say we were one of the first 100 hospitals that supported John's campaign. And we've got our certificates up, we've got our banners up. But do you know what? It's not just a paper exercise. I take this from the ward to the board, from the board to the ward. All our directors have done the face-to-face dementia training. We're not mandatory, but everybody does it because it's part of our CQC action plan. 2.5 years ago, 4% of staff at Mid-Yorkshire, 4% of staff had competencies in dementia, and I'm proud to say 58% of staff now have competencies. We want to get it to 90% like mandatory training, so I've now just put in a business plan to get this, so fingers crossed. And going back to the rooms, I've said we've got 7, I've put a business plan in for another 10. People will say to me, why elderly care wards, Anita? There's people dying, there's people living with dementia on all wards. Well, hello, elderly care's always been the Cinderella service. We've taken our Cinderella to the ball and we've provided the coach and horses to get her there. But yes, they're right, they need one too. So my business plan's gone in to get another 10 rooms. So what were our challenges? Agreeing the names of the suites. Some people said, I don't want it to be known as the death room. What if somebody dies in there and somebody comes on and sees this lovely, gorgeous room and thinks, well, I'm not going in there, that's where you go to die. So that's when we decided we need to get rid of the stigma and make sure that, you know, we really raise the profile. Ring fencing a bed were hard enough. Ring fencing a room to create this adaptations. It took 8 days to do a room. So we had to then get the support of the chief exec and the chairman that were there knocking on his door. Obtaining consent as to close the room, meeting the timescales and deadlines. I didn't know a thing about facilities, and facility staff didn't know a thing about dementia. We're best friends now, and we won a Partnership in Care award in London earlier this year because we'd all learnt so much. I said, why can't two men work in the room together, screeding? He says to me, Anita, why do you need that colour on the wall? And honestly, we've got such a mutual respect for each other now. Obtaining valid and live feedback was an initial problem, but now, as I say, we've got our survey form, and we still do our patient and visitor ward rounds every day. And then the biggest problem, how can we show these rooms to everyone? Following the success of the award, everybody wanted to come and look at our rooms. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? There's people in there that need dignity, so what could we do? I knocked on Mr. Eames's door again, and I said, I need some money. I said, what for? I said, I want to create a film, a video, where if Mrs. Jones was at home and she was coming into hospital, her family could look at this video and see what the room looks like and say, do you know what? I want my mum to go in that room so I can stay with her. We made sure that the site managers, the patient flow team, all understood what protocol and what kind of patient should go in that room, and we got our money for the film. What works well? The partnership working with our stakeholders. The partnership working with the experts, the people that really matter, the people living with dementia and the carers. The support from staff across the trust. We must have gone to every ward meeting. It was on our website. People were sick of hearing about dementia and family support rooms. I think we were best friends with the local media because we were in every newspaper. We're proud of the design. We're proud of the shared vision. But you know what we really are proud of? We're proud of a bottom-up approach. Nobody said to us, do that room, Anita. It wasn't a breach. It wasn't a target. It came from here. It came from our heart. And it was people there on the wards that made that decision, and that's what we're really proud of. And of course, we're proud of the improvement in the patient experience for our patients and for our carers. We use our forget-me-not, anybody that's seen this. When we talked about consent earlier and confidentiality, believe me, we had a struggle with this. We put it above the beds with consent, and then somebody wrote to the ethics committee, oh, that's labelling. And it took a real battle to get that so we could use it again, because they took it down for a month. And we said it was in the best interest, and we speak to the families, and we speak to the person living with dementia can often say themselves. So all our rooms have got these. We use the forget-me-not. The relatives and carers have got this, and they're happy. So finally, we strongly believe that our rooms help to provide comfort, support and compassion. And I have put vulnerable in there because there is a degree of vulnerability for a lot of these patients. And it helps their loved ones at often very difficult and emotive times. We believe that this scheme enables us to deliver care in a setting that they deserve, a home-from-home feel. In the end-of-life stage, it improves communication with families, and it often helps explanation and difficult conversations to be held in a room where there's not a curtain, and people can express how they really feel. And our aspirations, a place to care, a place for compassion, a place for dignity, and a place where respect is actually visible. So we're now going to show you the family support room video.